Here's the exciting news for 2025. We're getting a new Mac Studio, and inside it, we'll see the M4 Max and M4 Ultra chips. Many of you are thrilled for both of these chips to be featured in the Mac Studio. It's been nearly 2 years since the Mac Studio was last updated, so this is a huge deal. A quick history lesson: the first Mac Studio dropped in 2022, and Apple positioned it as a semi-replacement for the 27-inch iMac with Intel chips. While some of you still miss that large iMac, and we really hope Apple releases a 27-inch, 30-inch, or even 32-inch iMac in the future with an M4 Pro or M4 Max. A lot of us would love to see that. Now, the original Mac Studio came with the M1 Max and the M1 Ultra chips. The M1 Ultra was essentially two M1 Max chips combined to double the CPU and GPU cores, plus a huge amount of RAM and excellent storage options. What really stood out, though, was its cooling design that kept everything running smoothly, even with the powerful M1 Ultra. Plus, there were some great port options. If you went for the M1 Ultra, you got 6 Thunderbolt 4 ports, USB 3.2 ports, and an option for 10 GB Ethernet. It's a solid device to sit on your desk, and if you're looking for a display, you can pair it with the Studio Display. The Studio Display was released alongside the original M1 Ultra Mac Studio, and it hasn't seen an update since. This 27-inch panel was borrowed from the older iMacs with a similar design and Retina display that dates back to around 2014. Fast forward to 2023, at WWDC, Apple introduced an upgrade to the M2 Max and M2 Ultra chips inside the Mac Studio. But aside from the updated chips, everything else remained unchanged. The design, ports, and overall structure were all identical to the previous model. While the M2 Ultra version was the most powerful Mac you could buy, it was surprising that no M3 Max or M3 Ultra chip was introduced for the Mac Studio in 2024. However, in 2025, it seems an upgrade is finally on the horizon, especially with the M4 Pro and M4 Max chips, which in some configurations can outperform the M2 Ultra. This means the Mac Studio is definitely in need of a refresh, and the good news is that an upgrade is expected to come before the summer of 2025. As for the design of the Mac Studio, it's likely that not much will change. However, one notable upgrade could be the USB-C ports. With the inclusion of the M4 Max and M4 Ultra, Thunderbolt 5 is expected to be added to those ports, which is exciting. The front ports may still use USB 3.2 speeds, especially for the M4 Max configuration, but it will still be a great improvement overall. In terms of performance, the M4 Max could feature up to a 16-core CPU and a 40-core GPU. Following Apple's approach with the M1 Ultra and M2 Ultra, they may combine two M4 Max chips, potentially doubling the cores, meaning up to 32 CPU cores and 80 GPU cores could be possible. This would turn the Mac Studio into an incredibly powerful machine, a true powerhouse for professionals. Additionally, there's the possibility of a significant RAM upgrade, potentially reaching up to 400 GB, though it's likely to be in the mid 300 GB range. This could make the Mac Studio a truly formidable device to configure and purchase. You can probably imagine that if you max out the storage to 8 terabytes, go for the highest RAM, and choose the top-tier M4 Ultra model, this device is going to be pretty expensive. So just keep that in mind when considering the purchase. Let's talk about the release date and price. As we mentioned earlier, the most likely release date will be in the summer of 2025 rather than spring. Apple has plenty of products slated for spring. It's likely that the Mac Studio will get its update during WWDC in 2025. Mark Gurman has also leaked information that suggests the M4 Ultra and M4 Max upgrades for the Mac Studio will arrive around summer, so it's not too far off. The great news is that WWDC usually takes place in early June, which makes this update even more exciting. As for pricing, the good news is that the price for the M2 Max and M2 Ultra versions of the Mac Studio will likely stay the same. For example, the baseline M2 Max model, which isn't the full version, it has fewer cores and only 512 GB of storage, is currently priced at $2,000 on Apple's website. The baseline M2 Ultra version with around 1 TB of storage costs $4,000. So we can expect the prices of these baseline models to remain unchanged. Of course, the cost will increase depending on the amount of RAM, storage, and cores you choose, but this gives you an idea of what to expect at the entry level. Apart from that, there probably won't be any significant changes to the Mac Studio, except for possibly a new color option, like the Space Black. Otherwise, don't expect any major differences. So what do you think about the new Mac Studio with the M4 Max and M4 Ultra? Are you planning to get one? Let us know in the comments below. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed watching it, don't forget to like the video. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.